from Kim, and she can fuck all night.
Alright, so I'm actually just going to skip right ahead to the now recap, which is Game 5. I've had no time for anything. I'm sorry. They're kind of half-assed. I'm sorry, but I'm still getting it out there. I'm still letting you know that I'm here. I'm watching the games, obviously, and I got to report my feedback to everybody. So let's just go over Game 5, because I went on that Game 4 rant and said I would record the recap next day. Never got around to doing that. I'm a busy dude. But, that rant, I think, speaks for itself. So let's just move forward to Game 5. No Game 3 recap, because Game 3 just drove me batshit nuts. So, anyways, Game 5. Let's just start it off. I actually was working through the first period of this game. And I had gotten off of work about 7:20. So, pretty close to when the puck had dropped. And so I turned the radio on when I got in my car, and I thought the game had pretty much just started. And I hear, all right, it's 1-1. I'm like, what the hell? So I guess that was cool. And you're going to get a first-time reaction because I've not seen those goals yet. So let me go look at the goals from Morgan Riley and Anthony Cirelli. Yeah, that's what happened. Tavares passed it. Intended for 23, just goes right past to Morgan Riley, and he puts it past Vasilevsky. And then a minute later, Killorn gets a puck from point. He passes it to Janot, who gets it to the net, and Anthony Cirelli is there for the rebound and buries it. That's been the story of most of the Lightning goals in the series, is getting to the net, crashing the net, and getting the rebounds. And that's just fundamental hockey. It's just fundamental hockey. It's the basics of hockey. You crash the net, especially when you have a goalie like Samsonov, who, don't get me wrong, has played exceptionally well in this series, still gives up a lot of rebounds. So that's just the thing with the Lightning, is that's how they just play fundamental hockey, and they're getting their goals that way. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Whatever it takes to win games. And then what would happen next? What would happen next is there would be no more goals in the first period. Isamont, who is back for the Lightning, got injured with a few weeks to spare in the regular season, plays his first game of the playoffs, just shoots it from a sharp angle 5-hole on Samsonov. And if I'm being honest, this is a pretty weak goal for Samsonov to let in, but we're taking those all day, baby. We're taking those all day. He skates around number 3, just shoots it 5-hole from a sharp angle. That's crazy. All right. And then the Lightning take a 2-1 lead heading into the third period, and then you're like, well, shit. Because, the last game wasn't too hot for us, blowing a 4-1 lead in the third period. And this time we don't have a 4-1 lead, we have a 2-1 lead, so it was extra stressful. And right off the bat, the Maple Leafs started with a power play. They were just pounding the zone over and over. Vasilevsky making some phenomenal saves that we haven't seen from him so far this playoff. So that was really encouraging to see from the goaltender for us, for Tampa. And then they would, kill off the power play. And then Nick Paul would further expand the Bolts' lead about 10 minutes into the period. So Ross Colton goes behind the net, scoops it. It was misplayed by a Maple Leaf in the front of the net, bounced off his skate right to Nick Paul. Nick Paul shot it on the rebound on Samsonov. The Lightning expanded the lead 3-1. As time ticks down in the third, you're still scared. It's, you got 4 minutes left, and you're like, oh my God, please just don't do it. And then they hit an empty net post. Like, really, dude, you can't just seal the game away. You have to make this stressful. Leafs have an empty net, and wouldn't you know it, they score a goddamn goal. And you're just like, dude, we cannot keep doing this every game. It's just, we can't. Why are we letting this happen? It's frustrating. I don't get it. It was a rebound from Vasilevsky, so there was nothing you could do on it. But it's just so frustrating, man. It's been happening in all these games, pretty much. The Leafs make it very stressful with 3 minutes to spare, making it a 3-2 game. And then time just ticked down. It was 9, 8, 7, and then Killorn goes right up to the net where the puck awaits him, and he just taps it in for the 4-2 lead, and that seals the game. The Lightning stay alive in this first-round series. They send it back to Tampa, and here are my quick thoughts. If you can't win a single home game in the first round, you don't deserve to win. Straight up. So if they lose, which is now today, if they lose today, they deserve to lose, because that would have been every single home game they lost. And if you just can't do that in the playoffs. So if the Lightning lose tonight, they deserve to lose, because you can't lose 3 home games. And the Lightning, from my view, because I've watched every game minus a few select periods because I was working, the Lightning have been the better team in every game but one. And that was the obvious game where we got blown out. Game 2, it was like 7-2. that was the only game in which we did not play good. Every other game, not only did the Lightning play good and look like the Lightning, they were the better team. And for the most part, I feel like they were borderline dominant, right? Except for when the third period comes along, then they start to let up and play prevent defense, and the defense just shits itself. So that's kind of where I see the problem with the Lightning right now, is they play really good hockey, they play consistent hockey, they play fundamental hockey, and they look like the better team. They really, honest to God, look like the better team against Maple Leafs. But they just let up in the third period, and Vasilevsky lets in too many goals that he should have saved. That's the problem with the Lightning this year. Defense is not bailing out Vazzy. Vazzy's taking more shots. Vazzy is letting in more goals than he usually does. That's the bottom line problem with the Lightning this year. Even though they are the better team, and they should, in my opinion, they should have won the series with this Game 5 right here. They should have just won in 5. They should have. They were the better team in every game but one. So they should have just won this series. But instead, we're on the brink, and we got to win another 2 straight. We got to win tonight in Tampa, force a Game 7 in Toronto, and you already know if that happens, Toronto will be sweating balls. So that's about all I got for this recap, man. We're staying alive, much like the Bee Gees, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens from here. So, it's your boy. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.